There are a ton of games coming out within the next year to 2 years that I personally think look absolutely incredible, specifically within the RPG genre, and one that I think you should be extremely excited for, that I am very excited for myself, is called Crimson Desert. And this game is being developed by the same team who brought you the MMO Black Desert Online. But before we get into the video and I tell you why I think you should be excited for this upcoming release, thank you guys so much for almost 800 subscribers. I really appreciate the support. If you're new to the channel and you like gaming news and you like gaming reviews, specifically with action RPG or RPG games in general, and you like the video that you see here, please like the video and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. Now, let's get into the content. So like I mentioned, Crimson Desert is being developed by Pearl Abyss, the same team that brought you the MMO Black Desert Online. And what was one of the biggest things about Black Desert Online that a majority of people loved and that was highly acclaimed by the fan base? That was the combat, which leads me into my first point on why I think you should be excited for Crimson Desert. The combat in this game, if you are an action combat fan, seems to be exactly that. A really good action combat system. And although we have heard that right now it is a bit clunky from people who have played this game back, I believe it was at Gamescom, they have a lot of time to refine this and make it a smooth, polished experience, but overall the combat still looks really good. It looks flashy, it looks impactful, it looks very brutal and gritty, all things that you would love to see in a single player RPG. On top of this, it kind of looked like it takes something right out of the book of Dragon's Dogma 2, for example, or even something like Monster Hunter, where you're actually able to climb up some of these boss monsters and attack them, like stabbing into their shell, like that big crab monster that we saw in some of people's demos that they were playing, and even pick up different enemies, throw them off ledges, kick them off ledges, use the environment as well as part of the combat tactics within the game. And all of that, I think, looks really cool and makes the whole combat system more than just a hack and slash action adventure experience, but something that might have a little bit more depth to it as well. On top of this, the progression with the combat seems to be a lot more of the action adventure side, aside from like the just RPG experience where you're getting more gear and then that just makes you more powerful, but you're not getting a ton of new abilities or anything like that. This one seems to be kind of more like Black Myth Wukong, where you're unlocking different skills or you're unlocking different moves that you can use within combat that are going to help you take out different enemies or take out different bosses. And in my personal opinion, an RPG with good combat is 50% of the way there already. The main thing you're doing in most of these games, specifically if it's an RPG that is focused on action, is the combat. The game needs good combat to be able to be an enjoyable experience from start to finish. And although there's still a lot we need to learn about the progression systems and there's still a lot we need to learn about the combat in general, I do believe if they get the clunkiness that we've heard of refined, this is going to be combat that is enjoyable from the start all the way to the end of the game and something that you're going to have a lot of fun with. The next thing that I think you should be excited for is this game is supposedly going to have choices and consequences based on the choices of your decisions of your character, and that is something I will say that a lot of different RPGs have promised recently. If you look at Starfield, for example, they promised this and there was hardly any decisions that you can make in the game that had any real consequence. It was really just a mirage and something that they thought they were giving you an actual choice, but as the player, you didn't really have any consequence based on your choice, and the same thing ended up happening regardless. If you look at Dragon Age Veilguard as well, this game, granted, had a great number of choices and consequences at the end of the game. Leading up to that point, there wasn't many that really made all of the difference. If this game can deliver on that, it immediately, in my opinion, makes the RPG way more immersive and makes it replayable for anyone that wants to go play it a second time and experience different aspects of the story or different consequences based on those player decisions. Baldur's Gate 3, in my opinion, did this perfectly. It's the greatest game of all time in that category, at least in recent years, and it really raised the bar for RPGs, so I'm hoping this game can do that well, and if they do, I really think you should be excited for this aspect. Now, the next thing I think you should be excited about, and specifically if you are a Black Desert fan, is the story and the setting of this game as a whole. Now, this game was originally being developed as a prequel to Black Desert, but I believe they scrapped that, but it's still within the same Black Desert universe, using a lot of the same lore points that Black Desert used. So if you are a fan of that game, you should feel right at home here. But this game is obviously going to have its completely own story, and the story revolves around a king, who was the unifier of lands, falling into a coma with him being absent. A ton of different people around the world, or enemies around the world, are going to try to take advantage of that. So you, as Macduff, the main character of the story, are going to rise up in a leadership role, going and forming a group of mercenaries to keep all of these different enemies in check and not rising into power. And all of these enemies on this continent of Pywell that are trying to rise into power are going to come in a lot of different forms. They're going to be fighting mythical beasts in tons of different environments, as well as probably just normal enemies as well. All of these are going to combine for a pretty damn, hopefully, cool story, at least a very cool premise within a world with so many cool things to explore, see, enemies to fight, etc. And this world just looks so damn beautiful to explore. Every screenshot, the entire trailer, the entire like hour-long preview that they gave us, it looks insane, and I can't wait to explore it specifically as well, which is the next point you should be excited, is that it's fully open world. This is another open world RPG. Now, sometimes I get a little bit nervous to that, because a lot of times open world RPGs have a lot of fluff and not a lot of substance, or a lot of things that are just completely open areas but there's nothing really to do in them. So I'm hoping that that's not the case with Black Desert, or sorry, with Crimson Desert, and that the world as a whole has a lot of things jam-packed within it. But as an open world, this one looks incredible to explore. On top of that, you can explore this not just by foot, not just by horse, but also by legitimately turning into a damn bird. The whole damn spectacle of flying around this world is something that I could see myself doing for just hours and hours on end. It looks so damn badass. So those are all the reasons I think you should be excited about this game. If they can nail the combat and make sure it's not clunky on release, if they can nail the open world by making sure there's actual things to do and it's just not an open landscape to run around in, if they can make sure the choices and consequences based on your main character Macduff's decisions actually matter, I think we could have a pretty damn good game on our hands. And if hopefully you couple this with good RPG mechanics, a good cast of characters, and a good story with, you know, relatively good writing and dialogue, all of this combined could be something that I think we should really be excited and looking forward to. Now, I want to say again, the world looks so damn beautiful. The big bustling cities, the towns where NPCs look like they're just organic within the game, living their daily lives, and you're taking a part of that. It looks so damn immersive. The grand spectacle of it all looks so damn cool, at least to me, and again, I'm very looking forward to this game. Thank you guys for watching the video. I would love to hear down in the comments from you guys if you're looking forward to this game, or there's anything that I missed on why we should all be excited for this upcoming release. Like the video if you like the video, and subscribe for more. I really appreciate the support, guys. See you in the next one. Peace!